This is Luke with the Android Guys podcast. I'm here as always with Scott.
As always, I'm here with you, Luke.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
You have a game to talk about today.
I am reviewing a game. This one is called Hidden Through Time.
Okay.
So a couple weeks ago, I reviewed a hidden scavenger hunt kind of game.
Yeah.
So that I liked it.
Uh-huh.
I got really tired of the ads
Yes.
that were popping up because
Yes.
I didn't know if I wanted to cough the $5 up
Yeah.
at that point. So I thought, well, let's see what other kind of games are out there
Yeah.
in that space.
Yeah, and you have Play Pass.
Yep. So this is a game that actually is free with Play Pass.
Oh, perfect.
So let's just say that I have not gone back to the other game.
Aha.
In fact, I've uninstalled that game.
Uh-huh.
I will not give it my $5.
Sure.
I found something better.
Nice. All right.
And I hate to say it, and I don't want to say that I've done this early
Okay.
because I've played this game a lot.
Okay.
But I have fallen fast in love with this game
Ooh.
to the point of, I believe I've scored this thing. It averages out for me at a 4.6.
Oh my, that's an incredible score. 4.5.
Yeah, this is a really good game for me.
Yeah, I mean we have seen 4s and like 4.3, 4.2.
Yeah, like 4.25 for us is like an editor's pick.
Yeah.
So this is very high.
All right, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
This is the kind of game that you will actually. I'll say this too: if you have a tablet,
Yes.
it plays even better on a tablet.
Oh, okay, cool.
It loves the space.
Yeah.
So this is a game that starts you out with, because it's a Play Pass, so everything's unlocked.
Yes.
So even things that when you look at in the game that show like locks on it, you tap on it, and it goes through and then pretends or acts as if it's unlocking it. Then you have those things.
That's cool.
So each level starts out, the graphic style is kind of like an eye in the sky looking at a land. And
yeah, it's very reminiscent of like a Where's Waldo kind of feel.
Yeah. It has each map is going to have a fairly flat color palette that doesn't get too crazy and doesn't it makes you work.
Sure.
So you'll have across the bottom, you might start out with like 5 things you have to find in this map. And the map may not be very big. And as you scroll through and look for these items, you might have a crab, or you might have a frog or a bird. And then you might have like a milk jug or something like that.
Sure.
So you have to kind of scroll until you see it. Some of them are just kind of, this is just sitting on the shelf. Oh, it's right there. Sometimes if it's a frog, you'll start looking for things that are green, and it might not be where you think it is. It might actually be kind of like hiding behind something else somewhere else.
Oh.
So if you tap on each of the items you're looking for, it gives you like a couple of words clue of like, I got lost while hunting. And then, to kind of go look where there's a couple of guys that might be out there with bows and arrows.
Sure.
So you're like looking there. You've got, basically it's hidden through time. So you have all of these different eras. You have Egyptian, you might have looks like Mongolian. You might have something that looks like, pirates.
Oh, cool.
Everything, it kind of follows a story, kind of linear. Things move on the screen. So sometimes you'll have like animals that walk back and forth, or you might have like a chicken that runs around a coop.
Yeah.
So some of these items you might have to be looking for that actually are on the move. But they repeat. It's not going to be, stays within an area. The clues are nice. They're, for me, what I usually do is I'll look at the level and kind of just get a feel for, okay, this is a house, these are people over in this area, they're dining. Over in this area, they're hunting. This area looks like they're coming back from hunt, and they've got, some skins with them. Or these people look like they're practicing battle. So you'll kind of get a feel for where things are, and then the clues will help you zero in. Like,
I gotcha.
They didn't want to eat the last one.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, so let's look for maybe the tables that have food on it.
Yeah.
You know. Graphically, you look at it, the details are great.
Yeah.
They look like they're hand drawn. The people, everything, it looks like it's one animator all the way across the board.
Mm-hmm.
The color palettes don't, like I said, they don't get too crazy.
Yeah,
so,
they don't get in the way. There seems to be like maybe 5 or 6 different colors.
Yeah, it's intentional for trying to figure out like, I have to find this guy who he might be a monk, and he's got a brown robe and his hair looks a certain way. So then you're like looking at all of these people, and you can pinch and pull and zoom in and out. So it looks good on a phone, but on a tablet you just have that much more,
right?
Kind of control. And everything's just bigger, so you can kind of pour over that. I love this game because it does not have any time limit. You can kind of drop out, come back, and then finish where you left off. You don't have to find the same 6 things to pick up.
Right.
You can pick up where it was. As you go through the levels, you'll see a number of like, of the 7 items, you found 5 of them. In the paid version, which I think is $2.99, I think at a certain point, you can kind of unlock the next level.
Okay.
When you found enough to get through.
Sure.
So as you go through each of those levels, they're cool. They're interesting. The themes are kind of neat. The animals, everything is very feels deliberate. It doesn't have a crazy sound to it. There's like, when you tap on things, you'll hear like tap a tree and you'll hear like some leaves rustling. You tap an animal, it might bark or whatever. What I really like about this is just the sheer number of levels.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them. And as you go through the story, the levels, they will get bigger and bigger. And as you zoom out, you realize, this actually is a desert. And this clue keeps talking about an oasis. It's actually, you got to kind of like scroll through this empty space. And then there's like a little bit hidden out there off this. So
interesting.
Kind of rewards you for, I'll usually start a level and just kind of zoom way out as far as I can, just to see now what, where I might be looking.
Sure.
Things are spaced out really well. Some of the things you'll look for will be the same from one level to the next, but then sometimes you'll see these items on another level that you don't have to get. You're like, there's that frog again.
Yeah.
You don't need him this round.
Right.
He just happens to be there.
Right.
A ton of levels. And I love those. And then I started to play with, but I haven't even begun to kind of touch it because I don't know how much time I would put into it. There's a map editor. You can create your own maps.
Oh, wow.
You can also go online and look at all of these community-based maps outside of the game.
Oh.
So if you've gone through the story, or even if you're like, I'm okay with this, let's see what other people have created. There are some amazing,
interesting,
really talented people out there that have done some fascinating things. And what's cool is like, a level might have some huts or some pyramids. If you tap on the pyramid, it'll kind of like open it up and give you like a cutaway or cross section of it. So you can see like, there's the snake. He's in that. Or there's the shovel that I've been looking for.
So things you're looking for might not necessarily always be right on the screen. You might have to interact with something to see another part.
Yeah. And
interesting.
There might be like a mummy's tomb and like a couple of the actual like coffins you can tap and it'll click a lid off and then something will be in there. So there's a lot of things that kind of, like I said, I'll zoom out just to see, and then I'll just go through and start opening up all the buildings.
Sure.
And then try to figure out like, okay, this, there's food in this one. This one looks like there's a husband and wife. This one looks like a bunch of kids playing in this area. So I'll kind of keep that in mind, and then the clues will help me kind of nail down where they are.
Yeah.
It's a hidden pictures, find the character kind of game. And what's interesting to me is it's only a 3.7, or it has a 3.7.
Sure.
Which for us is a pretty good score.
Yeah.
But for me, I give it a 4.6 because for the Play Pass, and again, this will bring it down if you pay for it, or if you go with the non-Play Pass edition.
Sure.
5 for that. For me, it's got a 5 on a replay value. It's the number of levels that are available to choose from in the game, and the ones that are available online. You can search for, search them by like areas. You could search for like difficulty. You can also see like what the average rating is, like the fan base. So
nice.
After you complete it, you can give it a thumbs up or down. So you can see like favorability.
Oh, that's cool.
You can create favorites. There's a whole. It feels like something that you would get like on a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Like it's just like this whole community of people. Audio is okay, like I said, but I give it a 4.5 on the graphics and the features. Like it just, to me, for a hidden treasure, hidden, scavenger hunt kind of game, this is one that my wife and I have been kind of. She plays Heyday on the tablet, and I play Hidden Through Time. We've been kind of, hey, if you're not using that, I could pick up where I left off.
Yeah.
So it's by Crazy Monkey Studios, I think is the name of it.
Okay.
And well, that's the app package name. So Rogueside.
Rogueside.
Yeah. So it's the only one that they have right now in the App Store. I love it. I if this is a sign of things to come from them, I'm definitely interested in seeing more from them. It's just a really cool.
Well, I think the idea that when you're looking through these, the fact that these things are moving around just adds a little bit more life to it and makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah,
because a lot of times some of those hidden scavenger hunt games can be boring because you find yourself scrolling through a big scene on your phone, panning and zooming and stuff, and nothing's moving, nothing's doing anything. It's almost like, did I already see this spot?
Yeah.
So stuff starts to look the same.
There's just life. Like, there's a ton of characters, but they'll kind of rock back in place, or a wizard might wave his arms,
right?
Or you might see some animals kind of like step into frame and then kind of move back, and just little things happening that kind of make it feel alive.
Yeah.
And then again, those are all of those types of things. You could create your own levels that look like this. Like you could put all that detail in there and create your own and submit those.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Hidden Through Time, and that's free with your Play Pass subscription. Otherwise, I believe it's about $3.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Scott.
You got it. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.